Welcome to Money Chat Now. I am your host, Larry Steinhouse, and of course today is the last day of the month, September 30th. Hey, I just want to remind you, if you like the show, hit the share button. Actually, hit the share button right now, hit the like button right now, and you can also leave live comments during the show on both YouTube and Facebook, and I'll be able to see them while the show is on. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and like the Money Chat Now page on Facebook. And hey, I want to know if anybody actually do this. I'll tell you what, do me a favor right now. If you're watching this show, put a comment out there. And if you're not watching the show, put a comment on it that says I'm not watching the show, okay? You guys got that? So if you're watching the show, put a comment that says I'm watching the show. If you're not watching it, put a comment that says you're not watching the show. Anyway, Money Chat Now is brought to you by Investor Schooling. You can attend a complimentary class this Thursday, which is tonight, by going to investorschooling.com, and there you will learn about real estate investing and stock options trading from those who do it every day. Hey, listen to this. If you come tonight, you could actually be on Zoom if you want. If you're not local, you can even be on Zoom and you can watch the show there. So today we're going to be discussing the market update or down date. I don't know. It was terrible, whatever it was. We're going to talk about Bed Bath and busted. The infrastructure vote today, unvaccinated and unemployed. We're going to be talking about investment diversification. That's one of those really long words that you have to speak. Diversification, yes. Investment diversification, and we're going to be talking about the wrap up and what we should be doing to prepare ourselves for October. All right, here it is, folks. What the heck happened today? Wow. At one point, the market was down 500 points, and then it bounced, and it was only down about 250 points, but it ended 546 points down. This is not good at all. The S&P, I don't know, you can almost say it only ended up down 52 points. And the NASDAQ only ended up down 64 points. At one point, the NASDAQ actually went positive. I thought we were going to finish today, and I thought we were going to actually have the NASDAQ going positive today, but no, that didn't happen. It's a bad month, and actually, in fact, the whole quarter is terrible. It's been a terrible quarter. The quarter is down, so if you start off at the beginning of the month, the beginning of the quarter, and you had anything, you probably lost in this quarter. It's just one of those bad quarters. So I still have to tell you that there's a few plays like Facebook and Apple that really should pay off nicely in the next few weeks as we start to enter earnings season, which is the middle of October. So as you know, banks, it's right around the middle of October for most, and for most tech, it's for the end of October. So if you want to start playing into earnings, the best thing to do is start buying some good stocks right now, such as the bank stocks and such as the tech stocks, and you'll be able to play into that earnings season, and you'll probably do very well if you do that. If you're a stock trader or a stock option trader, you'll be able to make money as those stocks go up quickly. So today, Bed Bath & Beyond, their stock plummeted 25% at the beginning of the day after the earnings announcement this morning. The dive was caused by sharp sales decline. Now look, here's what they're blaming it on. The home goods retailers cited higher costs, supply chain issues, and marketing missteps, including cutting back on printed circulars. So, those circulars that you get from Bed Bath & Beyond all the time, and what do they have inside them? You guys know? They have the 20% coupon. Where's my 20% off coupon? I missed my 20% off coupon. You know how many times I would go into Bed Bath & Beyond and not even have a coupon, right? So I'd go in without a coupon, and there's always some old lady in front of me who has a Ziploc bag full of 20 of them, and I go, ma'am, can I have one of your coupons? Oh, sure, Sonny, here you go. Here's a really good one, too. And if you're smart, here's 2 of them. And you can actually ring it up twice, and you can get 20% off one of them, and then 20% off the other. That was the best part about Bed Bath & Beyond, was talking to the old lady in front of me and asking her for the 20% coupon. So there was no 20% coupons that went out last quarter, and that was a big problem for Bed Bath & Beyond. So, so the net sales for the fiscal second quarter that ended August 28th fell 26.2% to $1.9 billion as traffic slowed in August. The company said this is what the company said. Bed Bath & Beyond also lowered its sales and adjusted its profit expectations for the year as it anticipates greater supply chain challenges. Bed Bath & Beyond posted, check this out, a net loss of $73 million for the quarter, compared with a profit of $217.9 million a year earlier. Adjusted earnings were 4 cents a share, lower than the 52 cents a share analysts had polled, right? Yikes, this is disastrous. Imagine being $73 million in the red after being $218 million in the black just a year before. That's really, really bad. Where's my 20% coupon? Oh yeah, that's right. It's in the price stock today. Did you actually notice that they dropped about 20%? But to be honest with you, I don't see it as a play. It's not a great play right now. We're actually pennies away from the one-year low, and that often means the stock will continue to fall. I might want to see this stock if it hits the single digits before I invest in it. And then I'll tell you what else I would like to do. I'd like to go into the stores and actually see if they're crowded again, because this is a great indicator for a retail chain, is if the stores are crowded. And once again, I'd like to see my 20% coupon before that happens too. So before I invest in, I want to see the 20% coupons, and I want to see the stores full. All right, so how does this affect other retailers? Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be more challenging for retailers in the near term because of inflation and supply chain issues. And that's basically what's going to happen. So you need to be careful. You need to be watching these. And if you're investing them, you need to know that it's going to be a problem. You're also going to see price increases for consumers, and that's going to impact demand. And secondly, there could be additional out of pocket stock or out of stocks. So they're going to be out of stock. They're going to have nothing on the shelves as we move into peak holiday shopping season because of challenges in manufacturing products in some countries. So think about this, right? So if you have certain stores that you always shop in, hey, they may not have any goods, and you may not be able to buy anything. You may not be able to buy anything for Christmas. So I suggest you start shopping now, and of course, make sure you shop on Amazon, because Amazon will direct you to the nearest Chinese retailer, and you'll be able to buy stuff from China without having to go through the boats that are tied up on the ocean right now. Yep, that's how it works. Go there. Go there, go there, go there. All right, let's take a quick break, and we will talk a little bit about the infrastructure vote when we get back. Investor schooling needs a new slogan.
Investor schooling? Never heard of.
Investor schooling?
Never heard of.
Investor schooling? Never heard of them.
Any suggestions? Phil?
Investor schooling. We never heard of you either.
Investor schooling. We never heard of you either. Register for a free class at investorschooling.com.
Investor schooling. Those guys are everywhere.
Investor schooling? Those guys are everywhere.
Investor schooling?
Those guys are everywhere.
Investor schooling. Those guys are everywhere.
All right, welcome back to Money Chat Now. I am your host, Larry Steinhouse, and we have been discussing this horrible day, actually horrible quarter in the stock market. It's been bad. The Dow closed down today 547 points. Yike! Ooh, it just hurts. The Nasdaq is down about 64 points, and the S&P about 52 points. Wow, it's really, really bad. And the weird part, too, is, just so you guys know, it's kind of strange because they just, passed the legislation that said that they can keep the government open tomorrow. All Biden has to do is sign it now. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about what's going on with that, and let's talk a little bit about the infrastructure vote. So House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said that the House was still on track to hold a vote on a bipartisan infrastructure bill Thursday, and that's going on now. This announcement comes even as members of her own Democratic caucus said she did not yet have the support of enough progressives to pass the bill. But fundamental parts of that bill are still being debated in the Senate. Progressives insist that any budget reconciliation be at least $3 trillion and include provisions like free preschool, community college, child care subsidies, and an expansion of Medicare to cover dental, vision, and hearing care. By the way, we discussed this last week on a prior show. I don't know if you heard about this, if you listened to this, but it was great. It was one of those great things that you should know about. You should know about how they're going to be adding all of these things to Medicare. And then they talked about how they're not going to be able to pay for it, but we still talked about how they can do it. Anyway, I was pretty confident last week that the bill was going to pass. And as investors, we would clean up on the materials and manufacturing stock. However, I'm beginning to think this bill is going to fail. While Pelosi was speaking to reporters in the Capitol, a journalist asked Majority Leader Steny Hoyer, Pelosi's deputy, what he thought the odds were of passage. Are you confident it will pass, the reporter asked. Nope, was Hoyer's reply. And here's Pelosi's reply to that. As we come to the end, let me tell you about negotiating at the end, she told reporters. That's when you really have to weigh in. You cannot tire, you cannot concede. This is the fun part. Yes, Nancy, it's fun to spend other people's money and line your pockets with insider trading on a bill like this one. Yes, Nancy, it's fun to play games with your fellow congressmen and representatives as the country falls into debt and despair over inflation. Hey, Nancy, it's even fun to make sure that the border invaders are being well fed by the government buying food from company that you hold stock in. Yes, Nancy, it's fun to watch you justify your salary and as you destroy this country. Oh, well, I'm sorry. Did I say that stuff out loud? I was just thinking it. As for the infrastructure bill, I could see Nancy's stock trade. If I could see Nancy's stock trades for a few days, I'd be able to determine whether the bill is going to pass. Either way, however, we'll continue to teach you how to take advantage of this outcome. And I'm going to teach you what stocks to buy as this passes or doesn't pass, and what to do with it as that happens. And we've been talking about it for a while. All right. So let's see what we can talk about next, which is unvaccinated people and unemployment. So weekly jobs claims totaled 362,000 last week, which was an increase of 27,000 from the previous week and above the 335,000 estimate. Yeah, sure. A surge in claims from California helped account for much of the gains. I keep wondering if that's all the illegals going into California and claiming unemployment, but it's neither here nor there, and no one's going to report it. Although many are blaming Hurricane Ida for the increase in unemployment, it's interesting to note that many employees are getting fired because they're refusing to get vaccinated. And my guess is that they won't even be able to collect unemployment insurance because it will be considered insubordination because of the Supreme Leader Biden's mandate on vaccines. Look, whatever side you're on, if you believe that the vaccine works or doesn't work, it's just not something that you should be mandated to do for anyone, by anyone. This should be a choice. After all, if the vaccine works, then why worry about the unvaccinated? This is a question I can't get an answer for. There are companies like CNN, yes, I had to say it first, Delta Airlines and others that have started firing people as early as today based on vaccine status. Ooh. Some companies are even fining their employees with higher medical insurance. And here's the real kicker. Hospitals are firing healthcare workers, including doctors and nurses, who refuse to get the vaccine. Remember when they used to be the heroes? They were the heroes who went to work every day, and they risked their life, or apparently risked their lives, on going to work every day. And now they're being fired over not getting the vaccine. Whether they had COVID or didn't have COVID, it doesn't even matter. Here's something else. Something has to make you go, when you think that doctors and nurses are leaving their six-figure jobs because they don't want the vax. That's kind of weird, right? But either way, it's up to you. It's up to the person and not the Supreme Leader Biden. As for my vax status, I don't discuss my medical history with anyone I don't want to discuss it with. So I will keep you guessing. I may be, I may not be. Right now, as far as I'm concerned, it's Schrodinger's vax. All right, let's talk a little bit about investment diversification. A lot of times people they ask me the question, how much should I invest and what should I invest in? So let's talk a little bit about some of the things that I teach. So I teach, probably the main things I teach are real estate investing and stock options trading. However, I also teach stocks. I also teach life insurance. I also teach IRAs. I also teach mutual funds. But the reason I want to bring this up is because a lot of times people they say, okay, listen, I have $1 million, for example, and I want to invest in. By the way, if you don't have $1 million, it's okay if you can have 100,000 or 10,000. It's all the same. So if you had $1 million and you wanted to invest, I would tell you to put no more than 20% into high risk investments. For example, stock options. Stock options really leverage the stock market. With small amounts of money, you can leverage the stock market and make lots of money. But understand that they're extremely risky. So it may not be for you. As a matter of fact, if you have a low risk tolerance, stock options are not for you at all. The other thing is just plain stocks. Now, stocks do go up and they go down, and most people who are buying stocks are going to hold them for a long time. And if you're going to hold them for a long time, traditionally, you're going to make between 10 and 12% a year if you average it out. So in other words, maybe this year you don't do so well, next year you do okay, but if you go average it out for many years, you'll find yourself doing between 10 and 12%, and that's typical for mutual funds as well. And if you want to get a little less risky, you put it in a mutual fund, and you have people who decide for you where that money should go. And I think that's not a bad idea. The other one is a nice idea too, which is dividend stock. Now, dividend stocks are, by the way, a lot of stocks give dividends, but when I say dividend stocks, I mean stocks that are pretty stable, like AT&T. It's a pretty stable stock. It doesn't move much, maybe a point or two, and it gives a really nice, healthy dividend every single quarter. You get a nice check from AT&T, and you can live off of that dividend. So that's also a great way to invest in stocks as well. So that's a lower risk and lower risk tolerance. There are things like that we also teach, like metals. So if you wanted to get into silver or gold, I suggest silver and gold. I also suggest silver and gold for other reasons besides just investment. It's also great to have the physical silver or physical gold in case something really bad happens and you need to exchange that for a gallon of milk, for example, if the entire system goes down, the entire internet system goes down. Same thing with Bitcoin and also, like Ethereum, and we're going to talk about those in a little while. But those things, if you want to invest them, those are risky, and they're mostly risky because, first of all, they're extremely volatile, but they're also risky because no one knows if they're actually going to be around 20 years from now. Most people say they will, most people don't. And I want to let you know, of course, I have a book coming out. It's called Money Hacks. And this book is everything that you ever wanted to know about money. It's actually the subtitle actually says because everything you think you know about money is wrong, and there's so many different things in that book that you will learn from. Right now, I'm going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back in a minute and talk to you about the wrap-up and what we should invest in over the next couple of days.
Okay, so you've thought about investing in real estate, houses, apartment buildings, properties, but don't really know where to start? Well, what if you could very easily learn how to gain strategies to use other people's money to buy and sell houses in the Philadelphia area? If you could learn and network with successful area real estate investors and how to produce monthly income on rental properties without headaches, that place is Investor Schooling. With Investor Schooling, you'll learn from two Philadelphia area rockstar real estate investors, Phil Falcone and Larry Steinhouse, about how to buy and sell properties the easy way and teach you basic and advanced techniques to help you make money in real estate. You can attend Investor Schooling in person or online visual classes 8 times a month. You can and will learn how to make money in real estate. Call for free information and get a complimentary pass to one of these classes. But don't delay, as these complimentary passes are limited. Call the number on your screen now or visit investorschooling.com. investorschooling.com.
Welcome back to Money Chat Now. I am your host, Larry Steinhouse, and so far we've been talking a little bit about the market. The market, holy cow, it's terrible today. The market actually dropped 546 points today. The S&P dropped 52 points, and the NASDAQ again down 64 points. To make it an awful month and an awful quarter. It's terrible, 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 terrible. So you may be down, but hey, there's some good news on the way, I promise. By the way, if you're watching this show, please click the share button so other people can see it as well. And I'm going to tell you, we're going to get in a little while, we're going to get to my favorite part of this show, is where I'm going to tell you some stocks that I think you should be investing in. And hopefully, as of tomorrow, those things will change. or I should say the stock market will change enough so that you can enjoy it and make some money. All right, so far we know that this is a rocky month and it's over, and earnings are coming up. As I've said before, when earnings come up, you're going to start to look for stocks to start to move up as we get closer to the middle of the month. As you know, bank stocks are in the middle of the month, so you're going to start looking for the earnings reports and bank stocks in the middle of the month. Watch them. Then watch for tech stocks. Sometimes tech stocks are a tell for the next tech stock. So for example, if Twitter's earnings are before Facebook earnings and Twitter does really well, Facebook typically will do really well. If they don't, then same thing, Facebook will typically do pretty bad. However, as a stock option trader, I often teach people to get out of the play before earnings. Just keep that in mind. Also remember that stocks will climb as they start reaching earnings, and they typically decline after the earnings announcement. So over the next 2 weeks, buy the dips, buy the dips, buy the dips. I know BA, I was watching BA today. It hit below 220 for a second, then it hit for a second again, and then it popped back up, and then it went back down. So I don't know. It's kind of a weird play, but I'd like to see it. You know, I'll tell you what, I'd like to see it. Even if it goes below 220, it's a good play, but even 215 would even be better for me. Facebook and Apple, I think they're great plays at these levels. CCL and AAL, you know, we kind of, people are pulling back out. They're walking away from them right now. But I think if you play them into February, you're going to do really, really well if you're playing a stock option. If you're playing the stocks, just hold on to them, put it in your pocket, and forget about it. Robinhood and Coinbase are also going to move higher as the crypto market moves higher. Of course, Bitcoin today is up, and it's about 26,000. That's impossible. How could Bitcoin be at 26,000? No, it's up 2,600 points, and it's up to 43,600. Ethereum is resting comfortably right around 3,000. And of course, my other favorite is Dogecoin, right around 20 cents. I'd like to see that go back to 40 cents because I kind of missed out on that one. And by the way, look, if you've been watching this show, you've been getting some great tips. And I'd love for you to put down on the comments if you made any money or if you played any of the plays we talked about on the show, because I just want to know. And if you do, by the way, if you have any other suggestions for the show, feel free to put them in the comments as well, because I'd like to know more about what you guys want to talk about or what you want to hear. I want to thank you again for watching Money Chat Now. Don't forget to hit the share button, hit the like button, leave those comments. And, of course, from time to time, I own some of the assets and options discussed in this show. The opinions discussed in this show is solely mine, and no one has asked me to discuss them. I want to thank you again for watching Money Chat Now, and we will see you tomorrow at 4:03.